I have with me here Colm Buckley, who is an IT tutor with the Adult Literacy Centre. Colm, you are throwing some great gymnastics there on the screen.
I don't know about
Can
that.
you say something about the service that's available to adults coming to this centre?
Well, the whole point of it from an IT side is to give somebody who has absolutely no experience of computers a foundation knowledge at the very beginning and show them, if they've never used a computer before. A lot of people might be terrified and say, "Jeez, there's no way I'll be able to manage to use one of those yokes." Well, the thing is, anybody can really do it. It is as easy as falling off a bike, and with a little bit of help from the tutors here, we can get anybody up to at least a very basic level, and then they can go into any of the public libraries or computer cafes around the town, and maybe surf the internet in their own time afterwards as well. We have very good computers here, and we also have a full broadband access. So in all fairness, Mcroom Centre is pretty up to date with the technology.
Okay, so is the tuition available on an individual basis, or is it available for groups?
Mostly it's done individually, but I presume at some stage in the future they may eventually talk about doing some group work. But at the moment we're just kind of starting off with it, and it is all a one-to-one basis.
Okay, so this is essentially an introduction to computers at this point?
It is at this stage, but again, if somebody has specific requirements that they need to learn something for their job, if somebody's got a problem with a specific package like maybe Word or Excel, I'm sure we'll be able to talk them through that as well. We are here to help with whatever we can do.
So you're saying that people who are already computer literate may have something that they need to have sorted out for themselves, and they can come along for advice?
Absolutely. I mean, if we can't help them, then we'll be upfront and I'll say, look, I'm sorry, but your problem's a bit beyond us at our level. But again, they get a basic level, or as I say, even just get used to a new package. I'm sure we'll be able to help most people out and do something for them.
Okay, I'm out there in the sticks and I'm thinking this sounds interesting. Mm-hmm. What's my next move going to be?
It would be to contact the centre here through Sheila. She's the group coordinator.
That's Sheila Scully.
Sheila Scully is the woman to get after. Get in touch with her.
Yes.
And she'll try and set up an appointment to meet one of the many tutors that we have, and we'll try and figure out what we can do for you.
Okay, give me an idea of what you're doing just now on the computer screen.
Well, at the moment we're having a quick look at Google Earth, which is, I suppose, it's not really of much practical use, but it is something that's great fun to look at and gives people the idea of the power of the information that's out there. At the moment we're hovering over the lakes of Killarney, and you can move around and pan around the lakes, and
these are satellite images?
These are satellite images combined with three-dimensional mapping information, terrain mapping information, which means that you can kind of manipulate the camera as well down into valleys and see around the mountains. So you can pan down like this, and it gives you impression of the whole mountain range down around the Kerry borders. With this you can actually zoom in as far as a house, and if there's a high resolution area photograph, like there we have the town of Adrigold down in West Cork, and if I...
You're going to take me into somebody's front room?
We can go in and virtually have a look and see in their back gardens. Second there now, we'll just pan this upright again so we're looking straight down onto it. And then centre of the screen. We can scroll way in. The photograph will keep updating as we go in.
So here we are coming down into somebody's house.
Yeah, it says a boatyard
situated on the sea.
Here and there. Yes. So there's amazing detail. Most places in the world have good high quality resolution images like this. This is just a local one in 2 seconds. You can be hovering over New York. So that's us there. We keep on going out to spin the world around. Turn it back up right again.
And you're going to take me ice skating in the Rockefeller Centre next.
This is it. We'll have a quick look at New York and see what's going on Manhattan Island. Maybe have a look at Central Park, have a look at the site of the Twin Towers. So there we go. Too far south. There we go. I'm just going to turn off some of the extra icons that are suddenly cropping up, which are here.
I can see Manhattan Island beginning to appear there.
This is a package that you can really only use if you have broadband. It's very intensive on a computer, and you do have to have broadband
in order to download it quickly. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, in case we bamboozle anybody out there, this is a very basic It's basic enough accessing this, isn't it?
It is. I guarantee that within 2 minutes of playing with this, I could have anybody as an expert.
So somebody who has never switched on a computer before, you can have them flitting around the world in this way.
The world is their oyster within a few minutes.
And if you want the world to be your oyster, this is the place to be.
This is the place to start.
Thank you very much for talking to us.
No bother, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
All the best.
Dorothy. What?
No, you're just chatting away.
So this thing is all about the
We're here at Grotto House in New Street, Mcroom. That's straight across the road from the Grotto, which is the Adult Learning Centre. That's the basic Adult Learning Centre. Now this week we're celebrating AINTUS, which is the organisation, the national organisation, responsible for adult learning. And this is the week of the 22nd to the 26th of January. And here at Grotto House we have all of the important organisations offering basic adult education and guidance on show. Very shortly now we will have the head of adult learning here in this region, in the Mid-Cork region, to deliver her opening address and speak to us. So the Adult Learners Festival here at Grotto House. We're now at the West Cork Adult Education Service, and with me is John Murphy and Maggie, and one of the visitors to their stand. John, tell me about the West Cork Adult Education Centre.
Well, Brendan, I suppose the West Cork Adult Education Service covers most of Cork, from nearly all of Cork, from Cork City South. It provides a range of services for adults who want to return to learning at some level. You have got, I suppose, VTOS courses, which are full-time FETAC accredited courses. You've got BTI, which are part-time a back to education program. You have an adult learning service as well, and the service which I'm involved in, myself and Maggie here, we're part of the new service, the Adult Guidance Service. So there's quite a range of services out there, and I suppose the Adult Guidance Service will help adults returning to education to make the best possible choice. As I said, lots of options out there, particularly maybe in community areas. We're trying to focus getting groups off the ground to return to education in community areas. We're running some excellent programs in the Dunmanway, Mcroom area. Childcare has been very successful at the moment, and people are progressing on to full FETAC level 5 courses from that. So it's been very popular and a great interest in adult education at the moment.
Okay, John. John, when you say the West Cork Adult Guidance Services, are you talking about career guidance as such?
Yes, Brendan, career guidance, mainly focusing though on the educational aspects. Say what courses that are the best choice for people. I suppose maybe prior to this, a lot of people maybe might have done a bit of a night class here, a bit of a computer class there, but they never actually kind of followed it through. So what we're trying to look at is maybe getting people to think long term and to plan effectively. Maggie, our information officer, provides people with lots of information. She's doing a clinic here, an outreach in Mcroom and also in Dunmanway. So, it's, as I said, it's very popular, and I suppose what we want people is to progress on to a new level. The FETAC system allows people to progress on and perhaps one day to go to UCC or CIT. More and more adults are returning to education, and there's lots of exciting options out there at the moment.
Maggie, you're the information officer. If I'm out there in the town or out there in the countryside listening to this and I'm interested, what do I do next?
Well, the first step would be to phone us. We're based in Skibbereen, but we, in the guidance service, we cover an area all the way from Kinsale back to Allahy's and from Mcroom down to Cape Clear. But our base office is in Skibbereen. The number is 028 40294. And I man the phones at that office in Skibbereen. I deal with a lot of queries over the phone there and then. You may have a simple question that I can answer off the top of my head, but I don't claim to have all the answers. I then will sometimes prepare an information pack for people for the bigger questions, post out information, or they can come and see us. We're in Skibbereen all the time, or I have, as John mentioned, I do outreach clinics. On the second Thursday of the month, I'm in Dunmanway in the morning and the Return to Learning Centre, and then I'm here in Mcroom in the Adult Learning Centre in the afternoon. That's the second Thursday of every month. So February the 8th and March the 8th will be my next visits. People can arrange an appointment over the phone, or they can just call in.
Okay. Now, if I'm one of these people who has attended night classes, for instance, I noticed that your service is under the aegis of the Cork County VEC, which has been providing adult education in Mcroom area for many, many years. What's different about what's happening now, and what's the same?
Well, the fee tax system offers lots more opportunities because it's not an ad hoc situation where lots of different providers are providing their own certificates. The fee tax system is giving a more sort of it's more of a level playing field. I can do a night class that might not have any accreditation, but it'll let me know whether I'm interested enough in the subject to go forwards then and maybe do a fee tax minor award in that subject, or build that on then into a major award which I can use in the workplace, or as John said, I can use it as a stepping stone back into further education, be that UCC or CIT or further afield or distance learning. There's lots of options.
Okay, so I wouldn't want to be confused and think that the courses and all of the courses that you're recommending are actually being delivered here in this centre.
No, they're not, no. I'd have a library in Skibbereen, and of course we'd have internet access to access information about courses all over the place. I mean, like I said, we deal with clients from Kinsale all the way to Castletownbere, so I try and have a handle on who's doing what in all of these towns. But then often if people want to progress, they may want to know what's happening in Tralee, what's happening in Cork, what can I do from home. Distance learning is a big growth area. So a lot of the queries I deal with go outside people's local areas. As John said, we are trying to increase the number of education programs that are running within people's localities, because, you know, dealing with adults, everyone has a busy life, everyone has commitments, and trying to fit in a course on top of that isn't always easy. So if we can cut out the travel barrier and have people start their courses in the locality, often that's a great way to get them started.
So can you just give us your telephone number once again? If somebody is interested, they can ring you up, make an appointment, meet you here in Mcroom initially, and then maybe find themselves on a course that suits their needs and location.
That's right, it's 028 40294.
That's 028 40294, and you're a visitor to this stand.
Hello, yeah, my name is Etna, and it's lovely to be here at the exhibition, and there's so much going on and a lot of people. I myself am a mature student at CIT, and I can only recommend, that education is absolutely wonderful. It's great to be out there learning, meeting people. And it's lovely to hear our two speakers here, with, the wealth of information. And I think the opportunities that we have today are just simply brilliant. I think never like before have we got so much choice. And I suppose from where I'm coming from, I would really like to see more more people who are marginalised or who normally don't find it easy to get out there and mix. For me, I would find that a really primary kind of aim, to reach those people, because especially to bring them in, and especially with the reading and the writing for people who need a little bit of help, that the help is out there. And, once people can read and write and do sums, they're well on their way, and it just makes such a difference to their self-esteem. And
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Etna. Thank you.
Apologies for being just a little late. But anyway, now that we're here, I suppose I'll start off by quoting some words. "If I can do it, so can you. Give it a go." They were the words of Pat Short, that comedian, and he used them right throughout the week in an ad for the 8th Adult Learning Festival. And he was urging people to become involved, like he did, in adult learning. So that's a good start to what we are here celebrating tonight. So Lord Mayor, sisters, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you sincerely to the Mcroom Adult Learning Centre for a chance to meet the providers of adult education in the Mid-Cork region. My name, for those of you that don't know me, is Anne O'Donovan, and I'm coordinator of the County Cork VC Mid-Cork Adult Basic Education Service. Here tonight, first of all, I'd just like to say a couple of welcomes to people. I'd like to welcome the development workers of the service from Ballincollig, from Carigaline, from Kinsale, from Dunmanway, and of course, we would like to say a very special thanks to our host tonight, and that is Sheila Scully and all the tutors and the learners from the Mcroom Adult Learning Service. Thank you very, very much. I think they deserve a boule of boss. Because they have just contributed so much to making this exhibition possible. Thank you so much. And also, I suppose, under the umbrella of the County Cork VC, we have here tonight Mcroom Youth Reach Centre, thank you for coming. We have McGeegan College represented. We have Maggie and John from the West Cork Adult Guidance Service, and Teresa from Back to Education Initiative, all from under the umbrella of County Cork VC, okay? And apart from County Cork VC, of course, we have representatives from other organisations that also provide a great service in this area of Mcroom. And I extend a really, really warm welcome to those representing FOSS, maybe Unad Osha, Mcroom Family Resource Centre, Citizens Information Centre, and of course MABS. So welcome very much, and I thank you for giving of your time to come along and show what you're involved in here in recognition of this Adult Learning Festival. Thank you very much. And it gives me great pleasure, of course, to now ask the Lord Mayor of Mcroom, Connie Foley, to perhaps officially open this showcase of adult learning. And please, Connie, maybe you might just like to say a few words. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anne. Fellow councillor, Reverend Sisters, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to extend my thanks to all involved for inviting me here tonight to say a few words. I say this with most things good. It's easy to talk about something that's worthwhile, something that's good for the community, good for people, and in general it helps everything. Society, gives people confidence, it gives people, you know, this extra bit of get up and go. I suppose about 6 years ago, I went back to adult education myself through FOSS, doing computers, with law, a bit of accountancy, and I can honestly say, only for that, I wouldn't be here tonight as Mayor of Mcroom, because honest with you, it gave me the confidence to go out and do things, and I can only say to everyone involved that it's a brilliant idea. The funding, I'm not sure how it's funded through VEC, but I would urge the powers that be to, if you can give extra money in years to come, give as much as you can to projects like this, because it's brilliant and it's worthwhile. Now, I have a few words here written out, and I'll read this to you. The mission of ANTAS, the National Association of Adult Education, is to promote adult education as a lifelong learning. Through its policy work, ANTAS lobbies on behalf of the adult and community education sector to ensure that adult education is kept on the political agenda. That's vitally important. I'm glad to see that Mcroom Learning Centre is recognising ANTAS National Learning Festival by organising the showcase of adult education in the Mcroom area. This is an opportunity for you all to meet VEC adult education staff and other key providers, to have a look around the facility and to find what type of education could benefit you. The Mcroom Adult Basic Education Service, which is funded by the Cork VEC, is about helping people to grow in self-esteem and self-confidence, opening up windows of opportunity by developing basic skills and hidden talents. It's great to see here tonight an exhibition of learners' work and achievement, together with contributions by voluntary tutors and organisers. And I just want to mention the voluntary tutors. This day and age, trying to get volunteers is near impossible. And I think, you know, these people who volunteer their free time to help others, no matter what walk of life it is, let it be sport, let it be education, let it be anything. These people deserve credit, and I can't praise them highly enough. So at that, that's all I have to say, and I just want to say thank you again, Anne and Sheila, and everyone else involved for inviting me here tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you very, very much, Connie. That's lovely. And I thoroughly go along with that. The voluntary tutors, they're invaluable to the whole service. And I think may you be justifiably proud of your work. Well done to you all. Okay, thank you. I think, as well as the voluntary tutors, I would like to extend a warm welcome to the learners here tonight, not just representing Mcroom, but also the other centres. And I am very, very pleased to have one learner in our midst, Andrew Barry, who is willing to share with us his experience as an adult learner, and I thank you for that. So I would welcome you to come and say a few words. Andrew, thanks.
Hello everyone, I've been in the adult literacy for the last 6 years. I first started off one-to-one. There was a one-to-one for 2 years. Then I started off and I did community work, or sorry. No, not one-to-one, group. Sorry, I did the group then. And I did, with group work, I was doing communication skills, computers. I did and I did first aid as well. I also did, but I'm working building sites, so I also did my safe pass through as well. I've also worked with everything's quality framework for the last 3 years. I've been going up to Dublin and Cork. I've been meeting other people that have similar problems, not problems, but similar situations as myself. It's been very interesting. That's all I have to say.
I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea Andrew's contribution to the whole service. He has been there to support tutors. He's been there to help with quality framework. Tutors, he's ever ready, and he's a wonderful person. And thank you for that, Andrew. Thank you very much. Now, sometimes there's a need for adult literacy tuition to perhaps concentrate on the very real practical everyday problems of maybe filling out forms and writing letters. And in an effort to address this, we recently conducted a pilot project to look at the effects of exploring the senses to develop creativity and perhaps creativity and original thought in the whole process. And literacy tutor Tina Pisco was at the helm of this project, and I'm glad to say she's here tonight. So maybe very briefly you might like to just bring us through your findings on this, or how the senses might help in literacy. Thank you, Tina.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to congratulate everyone for putting on such an interesting showcase here this evening. It's wonderful to see how much adult basic education services have grown and expanded over the years. Many, many years ago, I wrote an article for the Irish Examiner on adult literacy classes in Cork. At the time, all the research was done on the phone. I just talked to people on the phone because there were no offices, there were no centres like this one. And just volunteers and learners and a band of very dedicated people who linked the two together. And from that small little organization has grown what you see here tonight. You know, there certainly weren't any computer courses or other type family learning classes, etc., as you'll see tonight. And one of the most spectacular changes since those days has been a fundamental mind change in the idea of lifelong education, the idea that you're never too old to learn, whether it's computers or literacy or photography or whatever. Do you know, you just can't get away with saying, well, I'm too old to learn that. You know, it just won't wash nowadays. You know, people say, no, of course, take a course, you know. But I digress. Anne asked me very kindly to speak to you about the need for creativity in adult education. I looked up the word creative, and the very simple definition is having or showing the ability to create. Now, we often use that word more to mean talented or gifted or in some way, you know, exceptionally original, you know. But having or showing the ability to create is the actual definition. And we all have and can show the ability to create. It's there at the very core of being human. We are the creative species. Creativity is a gift that's given to every one of us, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. I once was teaching a creative writing class in a library, and I was going around and I was saying, you know, how much have you written recently, or have you written before? And one gentleman said, I used to write poetry, but now I paint, so I don't write anymore. And I said to him, you know, creativity isn't like jam. It's not like you've got to spread it thinner because you're being more creative. In fact, that's the magic of creativity. It's kind of like a jam pot that never goes empty, you know. The more creative you are, the more creativity you have. It makes sense. It's simple, but it's true. The more creative you are, the more creativity you have. Because of the very nature, a lot of adult basic education classes concentrate on very practical problem-solving situations, filling out forms, writing letters, using computers. And these are all very, very important tools that enable adult learners to go out into the world. But to truly empower them, basic education also needs to address their creativity. Many adults, not just adult learners, many adults suffer from a deep sense of inadequacy. And that seed was often sown way back in the classroom, where creativity maybe was not the most encouraged part of the curriculum. Many people's creative expression has been stifled by the fear of getting it wrong. There's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it, and I'm going to do it wrong, and I've always done it wrong, and I'm just not going to try for fear of failure. People end up believing that they're not creative, that they have nothing to say. They have no voice. They feel that they have no voice. Worst of all, they've forgotten what any child playing with a big cardboard box knows, and that there is great joy in creativity. It feels great. It's a great source of well-being. So how can we tap into that innate creativity that we all have? Firstly, by believing that each and every person, each and every one of us is creative. Our society gives an awful lot of credit and huge rewards to the creatively gifted, the best-selling authors, the singers, the winners of Pop Idol, you know, the painters. And we forget the value of individual creativity, no matter how small, and the great joy it gives to people to be creative, how it empowers them. Secondly, I also believe that you learn by doing. You can't tell somebody how to be creative. They've just got to do it. So, I do believe that everyone has a unique creative voice because everyone has a unique experience. So what we did was to go back to the senses, because everyone experiences the world around them through their own senses. So it was easier to get people to be creative by describing the world around them through their senses. So the idea was to structure classes and to do exercises to encourage participants, as I said, to really stop and smell the roses. To stop and say, well, what do those roses look like? Tell me what you see. Tell me what you smell. Tell me what you hear. And we had great responses in the classes and great fun as well. In our rushed and modern world, teaching people to stop, to be still, to listen, to smell, to see, to taste, touch the world around them is the first step to tapping into their creative potential. We all have a unique creative voice, and adult basic education really should be the first step in hearing that voice again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, Tina. I was at a function this afternoon down in Blarney, and the newly appointed chairman of FETAC, Councillor Donald O'Rourke, said just that. He said that adult learning is just not a cul-de-sac, and that is so true. It is right through, it is lifelong learning. So thank you very much. Now, in recognition of an interest here in the spoken and written Irish in the area, the learners of the Mcroom Adult Learning Centre and the learners and the tutors in the area, they put forward a great idea to have an Irish night here in the centre on a regular basis. I think it's a marvellous idea, and to share this with us, I'm very glad to welcome Noel Hennessy to give us a rundown on what is proposed. Thank you, Noel.
Gur maithagad ar dweir cahirlig agus grín ús le goléir. Is mis sinna go héngasa agus táimid gobar mar offi go forbrucht le me himmer scurí fe láthair. Tá anna buintaging le ís a dachas comma mar chumíd anna cuasaí ar siúl go mór cuasaí riomhachta, cuasaí cócreachta, cuasaí cuarum lenaí agus mar sin de. Agus tá buintaging comma le egrachs is senam bracha. Now, is brí le bracha tá sa cosú le Nela, mar tugann sé cawr do gine go bhfuil gaeilge go ach ná féidir lo an I a léamh ná a scríomh. Now, for the very few of you who may not be too familiar with the gaeilge, just to say very briefly, I work with Michael Muskery in Rainery, which is Bale Doris to Mcroom. And over the years, I've developed a relationship with, first of all, Peggy Kirstis, and then Sheila, and Purely Platonic, of course. And out of this, we work in sort of sister environments in the fact that BRCA is providing a literacy service for people who have difficulties reading or writing the Irish language but would have the Gaeilge. And we have a number of tutors available in that line. Now, out of that, Sheila has proposed that we start mar trial as a trial. Ní cuasaí Gaeilge ach beidir teachla chéile chun chorá dhéanamh ihe sa teachtain fag beidir sé seachtain nó mar sin. Mar as I always say, tá sí ann ach teachtar. That is, most people who have gone through the leaving cert and various things, the Gaeilge is there, but they've got mergach, they've got a little bit rusty, and most people might understand what you say, but they just have the difficulty in getting the sentences together again. And it is only practice. If we were living in Germany, we'd all speak in German or whatever. And I think particularly with all our visitors to the country in the past couple of years, who are very proud of their culture, it is very important. It is more important now than ever that we maintain our teanga. Mar is Ian Tainro the one talking now will in Dromella. That means it is the only thing we have that nobody else has is our own language. So we'd be hoping to start Matani Elevon if the desire is there for people to come along and do the Korah, forget about the grammar, that comes bit by bit, diga nig the really kele mar therefore, and maybe seeing that there's all this funding now that the great Miss O'Donovan might fund a little trip to the Gaeltacht for a weekend in Ballyferriter. We won't ask for a free bar the first year, but Mars Braga. So no doubt the forums will go out, and the signs, the fogery will go up, and Sheila, being the great organiser she is, will give the nights, and tá sulgum bmúla míad le chéile agus beag anna cracagin. Gur míle maithagad.
Agus gur raibh míle maithagad. Thank you very much, Noel. That's lovely. I wish I lived in Mcroom and that I could come along. And yes, we will have a look at going to the Gaeltacht somewhere along the way. I'd love it, love it. Thank you very much. Now, we had hoped that we would have the CEO of County Cork VC, Barra O'Brien, here to address us, but the man is very, very busy, and I don't think it's possible for him to make it. You never know, we might be surprised with a drop-in visit from him later on. But it gives me great pleasure to have Vincent Ahern, Adult Education Officer for the West and Mid Cork area, here tonight to take the trouble to come here to share this experience with us, and on behalf of County Cork VC would address you. Thank you, Vincent.
Things are warming up anyway when Noel is mentioning the crack, so we won't keep it on too serious a note. I'd like to say we're here in a centre that's for returning to education, and I think we're at a time when the elements are falling together for successful returning to education for people, and I think people are beginning to realise it. It's dawning slowly. I was at a function this evening now where we had the County Cork policy for FETAC awards launched by Minister Michael Martin, Minister for Enterprise and Employment. And this is a requirement by FETAC for all those who deliver their courses, that they must be quality assured. So we had to agree this with FETAC, and they have approved it, and the policy was launched today. But just to turn for a moment to FETAC, FETAC is the Further Education and Training Awards Council. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, but I suppose the foundation of FETAC was a major turnaround in the way education is being approached in Ireland. Most of us, if we missed out on the junior cert or the leaving cert and left school, we thought our chance was gone. And that is no longer the case, because now FETAC awards range from 1 to 10, from the very, very basic right up to doctorate level. Levels 1 to 6 take you to leaving cert level and beyond, to the verge of third level education, and from there on you're at third level up to doctorate level. So the opportunity is there for everyone to climb the ladder, to get in wherever it suits, wherever they're able for, and to go all the way if they want. So that's the FETAC system. You see there's a series of ads running on television right at the moment, so if you keep your eye out, you'll see some of the ads for it currently on TV. Now, I just want to mention County Cork VC's role with FETAC, and we basically have services. You're all very familiar, I'm sure, with the adult education classes, night classes in the schools. And then as parallel to that, we have what my team basically handles out-of-school programs. And just to give you a brief rundown on what's available, we have 4 to 5 main programs. First of all, we have the Adult Basic Education program. And if you were coming to this centre, and I want to congratulate the people who use the centre on the wonderful display of work that's here tonight, I want to thank the people who work in this centre and in all our other centres around, and especially those people who give up their voluntary time, to thank them sincerely, because there's wonderful work going on in the Adult Basic Education Service, and it's a credit to the people who give of their time and their energy to it. It helps people with basic skills for life, and basically you can come on your own in a private and confidential manner, and when you want to join a group and are ready to join a group, that's there for you too. And I want to thank especially Andrew, who came here and gave us his personal experience of that aspect of the programs. Thank you, Andrew. Then there's the Back to Education initiative, and this is a program that's just been rolled out in the past 2 to 3 years. And Teresa O'Sullivan here is the coordinator for this area for the BTEI. And BTEI programs are part-time courses for young people, mostly young people who have maybe just left school or dropped out of school early, and adults. Now, most of our clients in this program are adults, and it's free to those in receipt of a social welfare payment. It's a really successful program so far, and last night I was down on the Beara Peninsula in Castletown Bear, and there were actually 90 FETAC awards given last night, and that's only activity in the Beara Peninsula has only been going about a year and a half, basically since Teresa started in as the BTI coordinator and was able to get out and make the contacts. And on that note as well, I want to thank all those other organisations, many of whom are represented here tonight, who support us and with whom we have contact, and who point us in the direction of where the need is, or where there are groups of people who want to go on these programs. That's a great help to us, because it was very difficult, for instance, for us in the past in the Beara Peninsula to target people who wanted these programs. Now, in the last 2 years, 2 family resource centres have started up in the Beara Peninsula, and working with them, we have got class upon class upon class going down there, and as a result we had those awards given out last night. And that's only for, in Castletown Bear itself and the surrounding area. There's also another centre in Adrigole, and there's a whole lot of activity going on around there and in its region as well through the BTI programme. Now, we have also a community education programme. This has been running for quite a while, but not everybody is aware of it. It's courses provided for community-based learning groups. And there would be some activity even in this area. Say we'd give some activity for active retired groups, and also daycare centres, or various communities of interest in the area. They can apply to us, and we're able to give a certain amount. It's a limited enough budget, but we spread it as best we can among the communities, and it's quite effective. Also, even as a social gathering for people coming together, especially people who are isolated or who are in the older age group and rarely have a chance to get together and socialise as well. There's the Vocational Training Opportunities Scheme, which is a full-time, those interested in full-time education who are on social welfare or unemployed. Now, unfortunately, there's only 100 places in the county, but that's still 100 places, and we have people right around the county on that programme. And finally, I just want to bring to your attention something we very recently got in this area, and we don't have it generally in County Cork as yet, but we got a pilot adult guidance programme for this area of West and Mid Cork only just a year ago, and that's John here is the guidance counsellor and coordinator, and Maggie is the information officer, and they're doing a lot of outreach to places like here and right around West Cork, and they're available for people to help them and guide them and put them on the right path if they're interested in returning to education. And that service, we're glad to know now, is going to be continued, is going to be strengthened. So things are good. We have the FETAC programs and steps on the one hand that people can come into education and go as far as they want, and we're getting the programs in place and the support services for that. And I was very heartened by Micheál Martin's speech today, because it looks as if the government are looking towards developing education, bringing people back to education. Of course, there's an economic aspect to that too, in educating, in having an educated workforce and keeping unemployment low and so on, but we don't mind that, any of us, if it means that the people will benefit from it. And it's great to see it happening, and it looks like with the noises that are being made, if the money is delivered in this next national plan, that this area of operation will go from strength to strength. Again, I want to thank everybody who turned up here this evening, whether you had a stand or whether you were displaying your work or whether you're a volunteer. Thank you for being here, because it's great for us to get together and to see what each other are doing and to live and support each other together. And lastly, I want to thank particularly those people who put together this evening, the planning, especially Anne herself, who put a lot of energy and always puts energy into everything she does, and to Sheila and her team here in Mcroom for all the work on the ground in just having the place ready tonight, having the stands and the tea and the coffee and everything else. Thanks very much to you all, and thank those people who came and who have come already and gone. It's great to see such interest and support, and long may it continue. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Vincent. Thanks, that was lovely. I'm very glad to say that Maggie O'Sullivan, the information officer, and John, they are here on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. So just please come along and have a chat with them. If you or any of your family or whoever would like to have some guidance on future careers or future opportunities that are available. So that service is operating here, as I said, definitely on a monthly basis. Thank you. There's not a lot else. Thank you for your patience. I suppose I would just like to invite you to enjoy the exhibition. The wonderful, wonderful display of the art, the stories, the poems by the learners and by the tutors that are all over the place. I'd like you to partake of a tea and a coffee and a little bit of nice finger food. And I suppose lastly, I would also like you to come along to Phil Martell here from Ballincollig, who's going to display what's available in family learning, which is a very interesting concept, and it's something that we in Mid-Cork would like to develop over the next number of months. Phil has all the stuff here and lovely story sacks and all sorts of things that can be done with both adults and children. Okay, I suppose finally I'd like to thank the Murphy family for facilitating us here this evening. Thank you very much for the extended premises. It was much appreciated. To the cameraman, and as I said earlier, we couldn't have Barra O'Brien, but we have his brother, Brendan. And how bad is that? Thank you, Brendan. So Brendan will be doing the interviewing. So finally, thank you very, very much. Enjoy yourself. And as I said, just partake of everything. Grev Mila Mahagriv Galer.
Now we're here at the family learning stand, and I am talking to the gentleman who is in charge of this stand, and his name is
Phil Martell.
Hello, Phil.
How are you?
Phil, maybe you tell us something about the family learning.
Yeah. Well, I think the ultimate aim of family learning is so that when children are ready to go into primary school, that they're going in a book-friendly frame of mind, so that they see books as being interesting, they see them being as exciting, they see them as leading on to playful activities of one sort or another. And if they go into school with that approach to reading, then they will read much more quickly in school, and then that reading will help them in virtually every single subject within school, and obviously will help them outside of school as well. But so part of the family learning is to help children go into school with that frame of mind, but in order to get the children to that frame of mind, we need to work with the parents then, and give the parents maybe the confidence to work around books, and give the parents the skills to work with books. So what you would have normally would be a 10-week, one session a week course that would take the parents through the various skills and the various techniques and the various ways in which they might work with their children to make books interesting. They would pick a book, maybe even two books, sometimes a book with a CD, so that there's maybe music in it. There are ideas for activities in it, like you might have activities like doing jigsaw puzzles. You might have activities maybe like finger puppets or stick puppets like this. Sometimes they build a complete puppet theatre and they enact the book in the puppet theatre then, and they put their own stories, they create their own stories. They work maybe sometimes with little models of dinosaurs or whatever it might be. Your child might be interested in Thomas the Tank Engine, my child might be interested in birds or whales or dolphins or whatever it is, but they read around the subject they're interested to try and bring it to life, so that when they go, that they're at home then, they can come home from school in the evening and say, "Mammy, can we sit down and read a story?"
So essentially this sounds like a preschool service, or maybe a very early school years service.
Very early school service, but it can also be maybe for young people who find reading a little bit more difficult, maybe even if they're 8, 9 or 10 years of age, and they find you can tune it, say around their favourite football team, around a sport they're involved in. You can tune it around a trip to Fota, a trip to the seaside. They can create their own book with computers now. I mean, they can go to Fota, They can take photographs of themselves in photo, feeding the animals. They can put those into a book and build a story around it. They can take a photograph of their own house. This is my house. We left here this morning to go to photographs of the day, photographs of souvenirs, then coming back from photo, and they can build themselves into the stories.
So that they themselves are the actual characters in the books, even
They're the
if they want to
characters
do
in the
that.
books,
Now, Phil, if I'm out there in the town and I'm listening to you now, what's my next step to be if I want to get my child involved and myself involved in this?
I think your next step is to contact, say in Mcroom, somebody like Sheila or the literacy development worker in the local area, and then they will tell you maybe when the next course is starting, be it September or January or whenever.
And how long does this course last?
One morning a week, usually for about 10 weeks.
For about 10 weeks.
Yeah, and hopefully through that then the parents would have gained enough skill and enough experience and some techniques and tricks of the trade to make reading more interesting for their children. Yeah.
And is it proposed to make that service available here in this centre?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there we have it, the family learning service that's available here at this centre in Grotto House in New Street, Mcroom. Now, Carigaline may seem to be quite a distance from Mcroom, but we do know that this television service extends quite a distance south to the south and to the east. So if you're out there on the edge of our happy television land, you'll be interested in knowing about the Carigaline Basic Education Service. And we have three ladies here from Carigaline this evening to tell us a little about it.
Carigaline has been going now for the last 10 years, and we run, I suppose, like Mcroom, the family learning, and we do communications and English, one-to-one classes, and an ESL group as well. We have great fun down there. We have lots going on, and the students get to know each other very well and have a great time.
But my speciality is mathematics and numeracy, and it sounds a very dry subject, but I can assure you it's not. And the people who learn about it really enjoy it. It's amazing how much we can learn for our day-to-day living and how much it impinges on us. Even so, learning how to measure out things like medicines and things like that a lot of people worry about, especially with young children. It's very important to be able to do these things, and it is a great benefit to people. And as I say, we enjoy what we're doing and have great enjoyment together.
My name is Monica. I'm from the Carigaline area, and I'm a tutor here in Carigaline with men.
And how long have you been involved with this service?
I was when I was in college in Cork as well, in Truth, and I'm with men now at the moment in Carigaline.
Very good. So you enjoy participating in it?
I enjoy it immensely, you know. It's very confident and build up your confidence and all that, like, yeah.
Very good. Thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you, ladies, for talking. The Kinsale Basic Education Service is also represented here at this exhibition this evening. Can you tell us what your name is and a little bit about it?
Absolutely. My name is Dimna Duddy and I'm the Community Development Worker with the Kinsale Basic Education Service, and I actually just started on Monday. So to be honest, this is still all very new to me, but I'm very excited about the challenge ahead, and we're hoping to have volunteers up and running. We'll say maybe 10 or 12 volunteers by June. Okay. Volunteer tutors, and then the learners will obviously advertise.
And what is your area coming from Kinsale? Do you extend as far as Bandon, for instance?
It goes as far, not quite as far as Bandon. Mostly all the outlying country areas around Kinsale, as far as we'll say Manaan Bridge.
Yes.
And south then I imagine maybe towards Shannon.
Yes, okay.
I'm guessing anyway, I think that's the
so you're going to be very busy getting that service up and running over the next
absolutely.
month or two.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Okay. Best of luck with
Thanks
that.
Very much.
Can I
Thank you.
that?
Okay, Thanks a million.
Here at the Adult Education Exhibition in Grotto House, we have the Dunmanway Basic Education Service and some ladies to speak to us on that. Your name is?
Dorothy, and I'm the organiser in Dunmanway.
Okay, Dorothy, can you tell us something about the service as it stands at the moment and who you reach?
We reach most of all the adults around Dunmanway. We have a good lot of men coming for this service, and also we do computer classes as well for them. So, and we also, you have also met our student Andrew was our student, so he's one of our students as well. And we also do ESOL's tuition, and Jean is our tutor.
Yeah. Jean, it must be quite a challenge for you to be a tutor to adults.
Well, it is. I only came to Dunmanway about 3 years ago, and I got involved with the adult literacy then on a one-to-one basis, teaching students, with difficulties. But just recently, I've taken on a class of foreign nationals, so I teach English to the foreign nationals now at our centre, Polish, Germans, and I'm enjoying that very much. They're quite skilled, they have got good reading and writing ability, but they just need help with communication, with daily living, skills, being able to go into a shop and ask for things and get the correct change and that sort of thing, and really to integrate into the community, and that's what I'm helping the foreign nationals do in Dunmanway.
Okay. Can you tell me something about your area? For instance, how far does Dunmanway extend, and when does the Mcroom Centre begin?
Well, I think it's probably about this. I think it's probably up as far as Inchigila, is it? Yeah.
Inchigila over to Crookstown, and we go just about Ballineen, and we're just down about Drina then as well, and over far as Drimoleague.
So people
10 to 15 mile radius, would it be?
Yes. So people in those areas should contact the Dunmanway Centre and maybe
Dorothy.
Dorothy, do you want to give your telephone number, Dorothy?
Yeah. 086 823 9149.
And everybody is welcome.
Everybody's welcome.
Thank you for speaking to us. Thank you very much. So here in Grotto House we have the Mcroom Basic Learning Centre. And I have two ladies sitting at the table who are going to introduce themselves to you now and give you an idea of the services that are available to people in the Mcroom area. Here we have...
My name is Sheila Scully, and I am the development worker for the Mcroom Adult Learning Centre. And this is I'll let Anne introduce herself, Anne McConnon. She's a tutor with us. And we have recently moved to this premises, and it has made a wonderful difference to the service in that we have 3 rooms and we have computers and broadband, so we can help people learn computer skills, and people that are a little afraid of doing computer courses, they can start on a one-to-one with the computer course, with the computer first, and then they progress to a computer course. So they can get FETEC accreditation with that, which is a wonderful help. Shortly, we'll be running a photography course and possibly even a video course with that. And we'll also be running a first aid course in February. So anybody that will be interested in that, please feel free to contact myself, and my telephone number is 086 8239097. So we also help people with Irish that would need help with Irish. We help people with a driver theory test. We help them through that. We help them with reading, writing, spelling, numeracy difficulties, and the service is free and confidential. That is the most important thing. We're more than delighted for people to come and to give them help. And the tutors are trained and they give the help voluntary, and they're more than delighted to do it. So anybody that would like to contact us and come, please do it, and we'll give them any help we can. We also have the West Cork guidance service coming every second Thursday in the month from 2 to 4 o'clock. They give information on courses available to people, and they also give career advice. So I think that covers the main part of what we'll be doing, or we are doing, and we also, just to mention as well, that we're doing Irish classes. I don't know if Hannah's interested in that. Some of our learners and tutors are very interested in the Irish classes, and we will just have a relaxed Irish class where we just get together and talk in Irish and do a little bit of writing in Irish. And the purpose of it is for people to appreciate the Irish language more, the people that are interested in it, and to get to speak it better so that they'll enjoy it better.
That's wonderful, Sheila. Thank you very much indeed for that. And I might just ask Anne, who is a tutor.
I do one-to-one tutoring, and I also teach English as a second language as well. So,
And typically, what is the age profile of the people who come for tuition?
could be from 20 up. Well, I have a girl at the moment, she'd be about 25, and the ones I've done before, they would be roughly about 40, 50 years of age.
So we're talking here now about people who probably somehow or another missed out on being able to read and write after being in school. So they leave school without having reading and writing skills. And they can come along to this centre here and receive tuition from you.
They can, yeah.
And do you find, how long does it take to get somebody basic reading skills or basic writing skills? Can that be achieved in months, or does it take years?
Take months, but it's all repetition. You have to keep going over and over and over and over it. Like, it's just pure repetition with them, and just keep it up. But it could take months, like, to actually get somebody to read one page. Just depends. Like, some people, they can actually read, but they get mixed up in the words, like.
Yes.
It's what I be up against, like.
Yeah. So it depends on the particular learning difficulty that the person is experiencing, and you sort it out for them.
We try anyway.
Yeah, very good.
Generally, it gives them wonderful self-confidence,
It does,
doesn't it? Yeah. And if you would like to just mention there about, do you remember the person you had last April, May, that came for sent him, and he just needed a little help in computer skills to go back into the workplace?
Yes.
Would you like to
Well, he came in. He wanted to work in a garden centre, and he needed computer skills for it. So what we done with him was, we got him to write out flowers and lists down on the computer, and that's how he learned. And he was doing very well. He'd done that for about 12 weeks, and he's actually got a job out of it, actually, I think. Yeah.
So another great success story for the adult literacy programme here. And of course, adult literacy has been running in Mcroom for quite a number of years, except that now you've got this new centre, which you're very happy with.
We're delighted with it. We're delighted with it, really, because it gives us so much more space. Up till last April, we were in one room. We had one room now. It was very kindly provided by the St. Vincent de Paul, and they were wonderful to give it to the VEC. The St. Vincent de Paul actually first saw the need for to give help to people with literacy problems in the area. So I think that was back roughly in about 1980. So they actually started it in Mcroom, and then the VEC, the County Cork VEC, took it over. So as I say, in April, the County Cork VEC rented this premises, and it has really, helped the system a lot. We now have 40 tutors trained, and we have 27 adult learners coming to us, and we would have approximately 20 people from Poland as well, getting group classes, which and other tutors do as well. Yes, provide as well.
So a very, very good success story there for this centre going forward from now. Many, many pupils, adult pupils, and many, many tutors available to them. No excuses for anybody out there anymore not to be able to grasp the skills of reading, writing, computer literacy, photography, all kinds of challenging creative opportunities for you. Do get in touch with Grotto House here in Mcroom. One of the services that's provided through the Basic Learning Centre here in Mcroom is the service of MABS. Now, this is a government service that was set up a number of years ago, not so many, in order to help people with budgeting. Here is the lady in charge, and her name is?
Noreen Courtney. I'm based in Dunmanway, and the name MABS means Money Advice and Budgeting Service. And basically what we do is we offer a service to people who are basically a low-income group or social welfare recipients who are having problems with budgeting or with debts. We meet people on a one-to-one. Appointments can be arranged at a location suitable to the person if they don't have transport, etc. And we sit down with the people and we look at what they have coming in, what their income is, what their expenditure is, what they need to live on a day-to-day basis. And then we use the surplus to help people to pay off debts that they have, because sometimes they have very unrealistic repayments that they can't keep up with. An example might be they might have got a loan when they were working, then they become ill or whatever, and they can no longer afford the repayments that they agreed originally. So there's a lot of different aspects to the service that we deal with. So everyone's case is very different. But we meet everyone, we talk to people, we write to creditors for them. We help them to put in place budget repayments through their social welfare payments called household budget, where the money is deducted at source before they get their payments, and you can pay your local authority, ESB and Aircom through that service, or even pay money to the MAB service, whereby we would then pay the creditors that they wanted us to pay.
Do you give out any money?
No, we don't. No, unfortunately we don't, yeah.
It sounds like I could do with paying a visit to you. You were saying that it was for people on maybe low income or on social welfare. Is it exclusively for those, or can anybody in fact come along?
Anybody can come along, but our target group would be for low income people and people in receipt of social welfare, because very often they only have access to a very limited credit facility. And I suppose MABS was set up originally to combat money lending or doorstep credit, which is basically somebody who comes to the door offers you goods or money at a very high interest rate. So we would work very closely with the credit unions, and we would promote other aspects of credit that may be more affordable than that, because sometimes doorstep credit or money lending, it's not always about money, just money on its own, but that they can charge interest rates of up to 150%. But for some people, it's the only source of credit that they've ever known. It might be a family tradition that they always got money from the local money lender, or it's probably just somebody that comes to the door who's a person from the local town or whatever, working on behalf of an organisation, and we would sort of advise them that there are other roads that they can go down to get money to save towards things like communions and confirmations, christenings. These type of things can put people in serious debt.
Okay.
So we help them to kind of look at what needs to be kind of saved, etc.
Okay. And even those who feel that they're completely out of their depth and that things have got out of hand completely, you have a message for those?
Absolutely, to come and talk to us. Because, a problem shared is a problem halved. And as I said, they may not have the courage, they may be too depressed or fed up to be able to deal with things themselves. Some people don't even answer the door. They don't open their letters, they don't open the bills. The electricity could be just about to be cut off when people come to us. But we'll intervene and we'll get in contact with the service providers and try and come to some arrangement. And most of them work very well with MABS because they know that it's a service for the people.
Okay, can you tell us exactly what MABS stands for?
MABS stands for Money Advice and Budgeting Service.
Okay, right. So there we have it. It sounds as though nobody needs to be sitting out there worried about their financial position. There's lots of help available through MABS here at Grotto House in Mcroom. Now I'm talking to Bev Cotton, who is looking after Youth Reach in Mcroom. Youth Reach is a service that has been in the town for a number of years now and reaches out to young people. But we'll let Bev tell you about that.
Okay, Brendan, what can I tell you? Youth Reach is a fantastic opportunity for young people who may not have succeeded at school. And we take students from 14, 15 up to 21, 22. And we'd have a full range of students, some who may have left school and decided to come back into education, some who may have been moved on from school because they weren't happy there, many with learning difficulties who needed extra tuition, or some who simply didn't get on in the institution of a full school and actually like something more intimate and small. And we've space for 25 students, and at the moment we're full.
And this is based not in this building here at Grotto House, but elsewhere.
Yeah, we have what everyone locally would know as Lynch's Bakery. Humphrey Lynch is our landlord, but it's rented by County Cork VEC, so we're on the bottom of the Mill Street Road next to the Tile Centre. And it's a lovely centre for us because it's been converted inside with computer suites and classrooms and woodwork facilities, but it's a nice short stroll into town for people who want to come in.
Now, typically, what is the day like for people who are participating on a Youth Reach course?
Okay, our day, it's not unlike a school day in that the main emphasis is on education, and we have the advantage of the FETAC system. Now, the Further Education Training Awards Council of Ireland, we give awards at levels 3 and 4, which is equivalent to the Junior Cert and the Leaving Cert Pass. We're also an ECDL training centre and examination centre. So a typical day from 9:30 to 3:30 is that students would have 3 lessons in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. We cover the traditional subjects, so we have maths and English and computers. We have a range of vocational subjects, so we do childcare, we do woodwork, and we do some sports activities. And we try to do activities that are different and stretch them. So some students are making video films, some are involved in a drama project at the Briery Gap, others are in a web design group. So we try and stretch them and build them, help on their social skills, but also we hope they'll leave with educational training and certificates as well.
So once again, the target group now is those students who have not maybe been able to avail of regular school and are at a certain age. Just give me that age once again if there's somebody out there listening.
Yeah, we can take people at 14, but officially we're 15 to 21. And anybody who thinks that they would benefit from our services is welcome to come and look round and sign up. And basically, if they want to be taught by us, we'll take them in if we've space.
Yeah, can I ask you also, is there there is some financial allocation for students who may need it?
There is. There's a scale of rewards. It used to be a forced scheme, and so there is an allowance that's equivalent to the old training allowance, and there's a certain amount up to the age of 18 and a larger allowance 18 plus. There's also a childcare allowance for those who have young children to be looked after, and there are other grants that we can get for people to take other courses.
Okay, so yet another opportunity there for young adults to get second chance education at Youth Reach, located in the old Lynch's Bakery on the Mill Street Road in Mcroom. But again, anybody who needs information, you can quite easily pick up one of these brochures in the area. You can contact Grotto House here in Mcroom, or you can go directly to Lynch's Bakery and inquire there from the man in charge, Mr. Cotton. And as a standalone. Okay, guys. Here at the Adult Education Exhibition at Grotto House in Mcroom, we are talking now to Pat Sheehy, who is going to tell us a little of what's available in UCC for adult learning. Now, we have learned here tonight that learning, it is never too late to learn, People can get onto the ladder at any stage, depending on the standard they're at. They can begin by learning to read and write here in this very centre, and they can go all the way up to doctorate level. That's probably an extraordinary thing. It certainly would have been not so many years ago. So Patchy, he will tell us a little about what happens for those who make it up along the ladder a little bit and then maybe want to move on to some third level courses. Pat.
Well, Brenton, in UCC, the Centre for Adult and Continuing Education in UCC is managed by Professor Martin O'Fahig, and the philosophy of the centre is that anybody at any time has the ability to promote their education, and the availability in the centre of a wide variety of courses are available. They vary from short courses running in roughly 6 to 10 weeks to full level diploma courses and higher diploma courses, which are rated in the HETAC system of up to 8 and 9, which is equivalent to a degree and higher diploma level in the centre. The materials vary very widely. From at the higher levels, you've got the areas of health and safety, personnel management, and the areas such as chemical process run by the chemical engineering department. At a lower level, you have the shorter courses, which are at certificate level, running for 1 year, and then very short courses, which are an introduction really to get people into the educational system and back into education. This is useful for a lot of people who've never been in education at third level, or who've left education very, very early, and who would like to get in again. The facility is there for them. There are credits for this, which allow for certain programs, which allow people to build up credits as introductory courses to get them into the BA courses and other courses within the university. What has been found over the years is that many people start with one program and then continue on and develop their interests into a wide variety of areas. There is a very, very broad range of programs available, probably too broad to be able to discuss it in these few minutes, but the program covers anything from archaeology, health and safety, personnel management, social studies. For example, programs like social studies are run extramurally, and if there is a demand in a particular area and there is availability of tutors, then these can be run outside the university. The idea is, the philosophy of the centre is that we bring education to the people out into the community and be part of the community. The idea that town and gown are separate has been dissolved, and now it's seen that the education system should be and must be available to everybody.
Is it a fact that if I'm out there and I'm interested in something like this, I do not have a leaving cert, for example, if I don't have what you call the normal educational qualification, am I going to be eligible at all to go on any of those courses?
Yes, there is eligibility, very much from the point of view of accreditation for prior learning, because people's whole work experience is taken into account, not just their academic learning, because people who have a life experience behind them, that's education every bit as much as formal courses which are done. So every individual person is taken on their merits, and very often what we look at is feeder courses to allow people to move on, get credits for what they've done, and then be able to move in to the formal third level system where that's their choice.
Thank you very much indeed, Pat, for letting us know that. It's very heartening indeed for all of us to know that university is indeed open to us. I know that there are fine publications. Pat has 2 at least here on the desk outlining these courses. This is a program guide, the Centre for Adult and Continuing Education at University College Cork, which is available at UCC. And there is a second publication which is on much shorter courses. This is an outline of perhaps courses that run for several weeks or several months, but are not necessarily year-long or years-long. So again, opportunities at Cork's University College for all of us. I'm speaking now to a member of staff from Mcroom College who is heavily involved with adult education there. She is particularly involved with the adult day courses. Carmel Collins, can you tell us what the provision in Mcroom College is for day courses?
Brendan, in Mcroom College we have a very wide variety of courses. We have courses from art, craft and design, business courses, we have business administration courses, secretarial courses, information processing, ECDL. We also have the caring courses, which would be the childcare courses, community care, pre-nursing studies. So as you can see from what I've just mentioned, there's quite a wide variety of courses there, and something in fact to suit everybody.
Now, when you talk about day courses, are we talking about all day, every day, if somebody decides that they want to enroll in one of these courses?
Not necessarily all day, every day. They are both part-time and full-time courses. So it's up to the individual to choose whatever they want to. They can, for example, attend for just 3 mornings, 5 mornings a week, and on occasions these type of courses particularly suit young mothers who have children at school. They're finished in time to collect their children from school. Equally, we have full day courses. You start at 9 in the morning and you finish at 4 in the evening. You may have some free periods during the day. So there's actually something for everybody at Mcroom College.
So you're talking about a pick and mix situation, effectively.
You can, and in fact what you can do if it doesn't suit you to do a full-time course over a 1 year period, you can do that. You can break it up and actually do it over a 2 year period if it suits you.
Okay. Now tell me something about the standard of these courses and the qualifications that people get from them.
Well, we're very fortunate at Mcroom College in that the staff that we have there, we've highly trained, professional and very caring staff there. And we make every effort there to ensure that our courses are attended and that all the students finish the courses and receive their qualifications. Their qualifications that they receive at Mcroom College are exactly the same as the PLC colleges in Cork City. They receive exactly the same qualifications. With Mcroom College, we're a PLC college, and that means a post-Leaving Cert college. Anybody over the age of 18 years of age can attend the college.
And this, of course, Mcroom College is also known as a day school for second level pupils, but effectively adult education is provided separately, I gather.
It is. That is correct. The post-Leaving Cert students, they're not intermixed with the mainstream students. They have their own classes, obviously, in their own classrooms. And I would also like to mention that all our facilities at Mcroom College, they're state-of-the-art facilities. We have exactly the same facilities as the other colleges would have. And as I've mentioned already, we're a post-Leaving Cert college, and that means we're a PLC college, exactly the same as the other colleges, and we provide the same certification. And in fact, in some courses, we actually give additional certification. The students have the option of sitting additional exams if they want.
If I am over 18 years of age and I don't have a Leaving Cert, does Mcroom College have anything for me?
We have something for everybody. It doesn't matter when you finish school. If you finish school at 15, if you're out of education a long time, you might be out of education for 30 years. You may have had negative experiences in education. Please come and see us. We have something for everybody, and we will sit down and we will advise you and we will discuss it with you. And I would in particular like to emphasise to people that they may feel, I'm not able, I won't be able for it, I couldn't go back and learn. Yes, you can. The world is changing. Don't be left behind. Come in and see us. and there is definitely something for everybody at McEgan College. I would also like to mention, in relation to anybody who's on disability benefit, receiving social welfare benefits, they are entitled to retain their benefits. So again, they need to come to see us, come and talk to us, and we can discuss each person's individual position.
Am I ever too old to attend one of these courses?
You're never too old. There is no age limit whatsoever. No age limit whatsoever.
Yes. So if somebody who is retired, for instance, and lucky enough to be a retired Carmel, is interested in going along and getting a qualification, that's possible.
It is. It is. That is most certainly possible. People return to education for various reasons. It could be because you're retired and that you have time on your hands. It could be for social reasons. It could be because you're in a job, currently in a part-time job. You don't like the job. You want to be retrained. It may be because you want to set a good example for your children and you want to be sitting around the table doing homework with them. There could be a number of reasons.
Okay. And of course, the great mystery of education is cracked wide open. Nobody needs to be afraid of computers and technology anymore. It's all very simply put at McEgan College, I take it.
It is indeed. It is indeed. And there is another added advantage. If you attend during the day, of course, there are no tuition fees during the day. So when you attend during the day, you actually haven't, the only fees you have to pay would be your exam fees.
Now, do people have to watch out for an enrolment date, or can they contact the college anywhere?
Yes, they can contact the college any time at this time of the year. Now we would be taking enrolment for next September. So they can contact the college. They can also make an appointment and come and see me at any time if they need any particular advice on what course or their course options.
And you have an open evening from time to time, I take it?
We have indeed. We have open evenings in May, and we generally have another one then again in August. So to watch out, they're always advertised.
Okay. So there it is, McEgan College, providers of adult education for decades. If you're interested, go along to the school, give a ring, ask for Carmel, ask for the principal in the school, and they'll sort you out. Following the opening of the Adult Literacy Centre at Grotto House in Mcroom, we now continue our series of interviews on the provision of adult education in this area. I'm speaking now to Kevin Clark from Bishop McEgan College. Kevin has been providing adult evening classes at the college for some time. Kevin, tell us something about the evening class provision at McEgan College. What subject areas are available and when?
Well, we cover a wide range of subjects. We generally split the year into 2 terms. We have our autumn term, which generally runs from September to just before Christmas, and then we would have a spring term which would run from late January until Easter time. And those are both of our main 2 terms. During those terms, then we would run a series of classes of varying lengths, depending on, content. We would provide a large number of computer-based courses, ECDL being a mainstay of the program, which would actually run through both terms. We would also provide beginners computers in the first term. And in the second term, we would provide a continuation from the beginners' computers into improvers' computers. Then also available would be more hobby-based courses, such as arts, crafts and design, baking, which has proved very popular this year, aromatherapy, first aid, psychology, yoga, again very popular this year. Some of the courses, in fact, have been oversubscribed. And we were delighted with that, and a number of other courses such as wood turning, again very popular, and English as a foreign language. We offered that this year for the first time. We also had creative writing, and that would again prove very popular with our customers.
Kevin, Is there an age qualification for attending an adult ed evening class or night class?
No, there's not. Generally, it tends to be people that are 18 plus, but we have had individuals as young as 14, 15 doing the guitar lessons, which I forgot to mention earlier as well, which are extremely popular and run through both terms. So it's from 15 to 85.
Okay.
So whatever we cover every age group.
Okay, so it's the full span really of people who can enjoy and avail of and benefit from adult evening classes. If I am part of a group of people, for instance, if I belong to a local club or if I belong to a local society of some kind, and I'm interested in having our group provided with particular classes, is it possible to speak to you on that?
Yeah, we would be very open to any ideas from the community. Certainly, we'd welcome any suggestions for new courses, and we would look at them. If we felt that there was a demand, we'd certainly be very interested in running them. It's more of a service to the community, really.
What about cost?
The costs vary, and they're really, they would vary obviously depending on the length of the course. So for the shorter courses are obviously cheaper. They would maybe vary from, for a 3 or 4 week wine tasting course, which was a hugely popular course for obvious reasons, I suppose, around Christmas. Yes. The cost of that would vary from maybe €60, right up to €100, €110 for the 8-week courses. A 10-week course would be about 130. And then for the ECDL, which is in fact a 30-week course, you're talking in excess of €400.
ECDL is the qualification people get from computers. Let's talk computers for just a minute longer. You mentioned beginners courses, and then you mentioned more advanced courses, ECDL courses. That's a particular qualification, isn't it?
It is, yeah. We offer beginners courses for people that would literally just be able to maybe turn on a computer, would come in and learn how to do that. We would then offer, progress them along to improver stage, where it would be more advanced. And the idea would be eventually that they could maybe go on and study for the ECDL, maybe a following year, not do all these courses in 1 year. So you could, and the ECDL itself stands for the European Community Driver's License. European Computer Driver License, yes. And they can take that exam, and it's fully.
It's a full qualification, and there are a number of modules, aren't there?
That's right. There's 7 modules, and it's a fully recognised qualification, which they can take in Mcroom College.
Yeah. So an excellent provision. And when will the next round of courses be on offer?
Well, we're currently in the middle of our spring term. So the next provision will be for next autumn, and that will probably be late August. So if people could keep an eye out for posters in Mcroom and the surrounding areas, there'll also be ads in the papers and possibly brochures coming through in the post.
Okay.
Late August.
Okay. So nobody needs to sit alone at home whiling away the winter hours. The courses, many courses, provided at Mcroom College. Go along there, the end of August, beginning of September, and the courses will be on offer for the autumn term.